Hello, everybody. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome back to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. We have a Challenger League matchup coming at you first today between the Gryphons and the Wraiths. Before I dive into that matchup, I'm going to send it over to Rockerman. Rockerman, how are we feeling today?
Oh, I'm doing great, Colson. I'm feeling good, ready to get some more playoff action, some more semifinal action. Berth in the grand final is on the line for these two teams, and I know they're excited to go and get things rolling. As are we. And I got to give one big quick shout out to Jack Soy coming back for 44 months on the resub. So much love to Mr. Jax out there on that resub. But yeah, it's an exciting night, Cole. So we got 5 banger matchups. The teams are locked and loaded to go. Grand finals berth on the line. This is the biggest matches of the season yet.
Absolutely, they are. But first, we got to go through them one by one. I'm going to start us off with the Gryphons. We have Mealey, we have Jrod, and we have Grambo at the number 2 seed. They finished first in the Eastern Atlantic, and they just beat the Bishops to get here to the semifinals. We have the Wraiths on the other side of the field with Zeek, Zair and Milkert. They also finished first in their conference, but that was Eastern Central. They just beat the Hellcats to get up here, and those were some awesome matches to see. Rockman, what's your take on these teams?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna be an exciting matchup here on this one, Colson. It's gonna be a really close matchup. These are probably two of the best teams. I mean, we had the top 4 seeds advance in Challenger, and I think these are definitely two of the best teams. And I think it's gonna be a really close and exciting matchup. And we'll see if the Gryphons can break their semifinal curse.
I hope that they can, but I also am hoping the Wraiths can do it too. I'm still undecided on this one being the 2 and 3 seeds, but no time to talk about that now. The Wraiths are on the red team and the Gryphons are on the yellow team for anyone watching along with us. Grambo now taking it himself, gets it by 1, but Zair is able to get a good touch on it. Jrod up early, getting it over 1. This one's floating awkwardly in front of net, but Zeek able to blast this one out and away. Now Zeek following up on his first touch, getting it over to Zair. Zair back to Zeek. Zeek trying to get a shot on, but it's right into the hands of Mealey. Mealey gets a flick. Can't get it by 1, but Grambo does get the clear over to space in the midfield. Zeke's trying to keep this pressure on. A whiff comes out on the back line, but Grambo able to come in and make the big time save. Most of the time, I see a back and forth series in this game, number 1. A little bit of nerves, especially being the first game. A little bit of maybe they're iced, they're not ready, just having to wait just a little bit. So we might see a little bit of back and forth and players and teams trying to get their feet under them.
Yeah, you know, game 1, it's a tough game to get through because you're trying to feel out the other teams and see what's going on here. But I know both these teams are going to be, you know, they played their first round matchup, Colson, so they're going to be ready to, you know, bring it to the pitch here. And you know, it all starts out with game number 1. Is this one's going to be a shot towards it and it's off the post? No, it's going to be saved away by Jrod at the very last second.
Great save coming out from Jrod, keeping the Wraiths out of goal, keeping us scoreless going into the first minute and a half of this game. It has been impressive, but neither team has really been able to sustain their offense so far. This one pops awkwardly. Zair gets a little flick onto this one. Gets it by Zeek, though, and Milkert has to come up with a big-time save, and does. Jrod pressing the issue, but Zeek now has full control of the ball. Gets a good 50 onto Grambo, where Zair scoops it up. Now, Zair gets a great 50 on the midfield line, but Jrod will be the first to get it. Bump on the back line from Zair, but Grambo able to power through and get the save. Zeek tries to get it back 1, but of course Grambo does get this touch. Zair now just trying to get to the ball first. Gets 50 to out. This one could be dangerous, but Zeek puts it into the safety of the corner. Mealey now trying to make something happen, but not enough boost to follow up on his first touch. Jrod keeping it in, popping it back down to himself, getting a great touch, and Grambo able to get the first goal of the game.
Yeah, Grambo with a big one here, able to get the first goal, started for his team, and it's just a tough ball in the corner there. Try to push it off to the side, but Grambo and those Gryphons, they can come out firing, Colson, and able to find that first one there.
The number 2 seed is the team that strikes first, and good on them. Zair gets demoed out by Mealey. Jrod does get a good beat. This is a wide open net. If Jrod can get it to Mealey, who's pre-jumped, but he puts it wide. Zeek now with control. 50's one out. Grambo looking for a teammate with a back pass. Gets Mealey, but Zair has the read. Jrod now needs to be careful, buying some time for his teammates. Drops it off the ceiling. This could be dangerous. Double commit, though, and that could stifle the offense coming out from the Wraiths. Not if Zeek has anything to say about it, though. But Grambo trying to get this one out. Zeek looking for Zair. Zair trying to get a quick shot on, but a great save comes out from Jrod. Mealey trying to get a quick counterattack going. Grambo looking for the bump. This one goes off the post. Jrod whips on it. Grambo now looking for a teammate, but it gets 50'd out into the midfield, and here come the Wraiths. Zeke looking for a double. He can't connect. Mealey with a shot, but it goes high off the post. Unfortunate. That was the chance that the Wraiths needed to get into this game. Plenty of time left, but they want that one back.
Yeah, that one was a great opportunity for Milkert to throw that one to the net there, and the net is open here, but no one able to capitalize from the Gryphons. But yeah, that was a great opportunity, and something that the Wraiths can struggle with at times is they have slow starts there. Actually, both these teams really are prone to a couple slow starts here, and right now the Gryphons holding on to that. So we'll have to see if we can see a flick here going to go off the bar. Can't quite find the follow, but the Wraiths are getting a couple opportunities. You just got to make the most of them here. It's, you know, it's the semifinals, Colson. You got to make the most of every chance that you get.
You absolutely do. It is the best of 7, though, so there is a little bit of grass on the other side. A little bit of grass is greener, knowing that they have at least one more game to get themselves back into it. But right now the Gryphons are pressing the issue. Great touch from Milkert, but Grambo is able to intercept it. Zeek now needs to take some time. Low boost, great 50. He's going to have to do it again. He does get 50'd out, but Milkert with a great clear. Mealey now waiting in the midfield. Likes to touch it back to his own corner. Let's see if he can do anything from there. Great first touch, but gets dunked out by Zair. Not fast enough to it. Zair beats out his own teammate, and this could be dangerous. Now Milkert's going to have to take his time. He's going to his corner, seeing if he can do anything with 20 seconds remaining. This one 50's out right to Mealey. Mealey with a quick shot, but Zair gets the save. This is the counterattack that the Wraiths need. Zair not able to get around it. This one pops awkwardly mid, but Grambo does get the touch. Mealey's going to have to beat Zeek after this one, and does. Now with 5 seconds remaining, the Wraiths need this one to go in. Zair not in a boost in the tank. It goes high right to Jrod. This is still up. 0-second drill. Mealey pops this one over. Zair needs to keep it up, and does. Looking for a teammate. Zeek able to get a strong pop, and Milkert not enough boost to follow it. Mealey will drop this one down, and the Gryphons take game number 1.
Yeah, the Gryphons come through with game number 1. Only a 1-goal margin, but they definitely had the early pressure there, and just were kind of able to park the bus at the end and lock things down. So good solid start from them. And, you know, honestly, Colson, I thought it was pretty evenly matched. The Gryphons did have a couple of more quality chances compared to the Wraiths, I would say. But, you know, really a close game 1, and, you know, looks like a great table setter for the series.
It absolutely is a great start to the series. The Wraiths had their opportunities, like you said. They just need to tighten up on them. There were a couple shots that went wide off the 4th man, off the post. So the Wraiths do have their chances. There's hope for them. It was game 1. Get the rust off, de-rust, de-nerve, get everything out of your system. So hopefully the Wraiths dive into this series looking for their first goal, or this next game looking for their first goal. I think we have our countdown beginning, and we do. I'm looking for the Wraiths to start out hot. And let's see if the Gryphons are able to stonewall them, keep their defense up. But this one isn't a great 50 to start it out. Jrod gets beat by his own teammate. This one a little awkward in net. Grambo gets bumped, but still able to get the save. Zeek now trying to follow up onto this ball. He has a full tank of boost. Looking for Zair. Zair needs to cut on this, but Zeek calls him off. Zair now awkward. Low boost in the midfield. 2 teammates from the Wraiths. Low boost, but a great touch from Zair will buy his team a little bit more time to get the boost they so desperately need. Zeek looking for a sidewall. Gets the double. Milkert with a quick shot, but it goes saved away. Now Zair looking for something to happen, but he cannot. Zeek with a great beat. Zair can try to turn on this, but Grambo gets a touch. Milkert trying to capitalize on it. It goes wide again. Zair with the open net opens the scoring for the Wraiths.
Yeah, and a lot better start here, Colson, from the Wraiths. They had a lot of great pressure. You see a little awkward bump there in the corner. Maybe waiting on some boost. You're going to catch him out there, but yeah, the Wraiths with the early pressure in this game number 2, they are a team that can get hot really quickly with their offense. So we'll see if that ignites them to a game 2 victory.
This one popped up by Grambo, looking for Jrod, but all 3 players from the Wraiths go, and Zair able to get the follow-up touch. That could have been dangerous, but fortunately they were able to get the touch on the ball. Zeek low boost, but does get a good 50. Great beat coming out from Milkert. Milkert trying to get it around 1, gets it around Mealey, but his team was not ready for that awkward touch popping right in front of the net. Grambo now trying to get a crazy touch off the sidewall, but cannot connect, so Zeek scoops it up. He fakes out Jrod, but Jrod does have the read. Great beat coming out from Mealey into the Wraiths corner. I imagine we're going to see the Gryphons try to press the issue, try to stack up this Wraiths team on defense. We've seen a triple commit from them already, but so far the Wraiths are holding strong.
Yeah, the Wraiths are holding strong on the defensive end and turning into offense, so a lot better than we saw in that game number 1. I mean, they were able to hold the Gryphons to only 1 goal, but I feel like they've done a little bit more of a solid job here thus far in game number 2, and just got to try to keep turning into offense. Again, some good beats, some good demos as well, which, you know, Milkert, he's one of those guys that can most certainly lead your offense with demos, one of the top demoers in the Challenger League during the regular season. So look for him to keep opening up some space. That's kind of how that Wraiths offense operates, is, you know, Milkert getting open up some space, and the rest of the players coming through and cleaning things up. And so far, still holding on to that 1 goal lead.
When we did see clean games, like you were saying, Gryphons came out in it. There weren't a lot of demos in game number 1, so I will be looking for Milkert to get those demos. I think that disruption is a very important role to go. Awkward touches. Zair elects to follow up on it. He has to beat out Jrod here. Misses on the 50. Mealey now with a quick follow-up shot, but saved away from Zeek. Now Jrod with his own shot, but Milkert able to get a touch. A little bit of a team bump comes out, and Zair gets a great dunk. This could be big for the Wraiths. Awkward in front of net. Everyone misses on the defense, but Grambo does get a strong touch to the corner back to himself. He elects to take a little bit of time, gets a pinch, and Milkert has it red. He's going to try to follow up on this. Try to pop it off the corner, but can't. Jrod will scoop this up and clear this one out and away. Zeek looking for Zair, but a little bit too far. Side flip comes out from Zair, but he does grab the Gryphons boost. This is the press that the Wraiths need. Double up on their lead and take this game number 2 to get back in the series. And with shots like that from Zair, that looks exactly like what we're about to see.
Yeah, and you see Milkert, he's harassing on the backboard and forces a double commit, and Zair is just ready, posting in a nice shot. And this is, again, the Wraiths offense. It's what it's set up by. It's set up by Milkert, putting those demos, putting those passes out, and then Zair and Zeek finishing it off, and now it's a 2-0 lead.
Jrod going, trying to get the ball off Milkert, and for good reason. Milkert with a strong dunk on the air dribble play, and triples the lead for this squad.
You know, I just got to put a note out in the air here. This is why I drafted that guy right there, for that moment right there, even though he's not on my team anymore. But he is a very great player. That's an insane play right there, Coulson, to get that one in the back of the net. Just big body over the top, able to put it in as the Gryphons are trying to find something here with 1:30 remaining. But Milkert, you know, not only is he a facilitator, but he is a scorer as well. And a big shot there, extending the lead to 3.
Gets 2 to commit. Gryphons not as calm and cool and collected as they were, and because of that, Zeek gets the shot bar down. It is a scoring bonanza for the Wraiths in this game number 2.
Yeah, and for whatever reason, the Gryphons just are double committing, and a lot of miscommunication in this game number 2. It's a great shot for sure, but a double commit kind of made that play possible. Made that shot attempt possible. So the Gryphons really got to focus on the comms here. They are a very aggressive team, and they need to be right with each other and connected. But right now, Coulson, just not a connected showing in game number 2 from them.
No, and it's kind of interesting to me. They came out strong in that game number 1, able to take that first game with a win. But now it's like they're expecting the Wraiths to roll over, and as we know, this team will not go quietly into the night. Grambo beating out his own teammate with that touch. Jrod able to get back to it, but pops it right to Zeek. Zeek puts this one looking for Milkert. Milkert does get a bump, but it's still saved away by Mealey. Grambo whiffs on this one. A lot of boosts on the side of the Wraiths, and that is beginning to become a pressing issue for the Gryphons. Milkert trying to get this one to pop down, but Mealey is wise to it. Zair now with a full tank going up to the ceiling, trying to make something happen, looking for a teammate, but gets bumped off of it. Awkward in front of the net yet again, but no one from the Wraiths ready to capitalize. I can't really fault them on that one. They're up 4 going into the last 15 seconds of the game. They don't really need to press the issue. They're just wasting a little bit more time. And without any goals here from the Gryphons, we are looking like we will see a tied series at 1-1, but the Wraiths coming out with a dominant game number 2 compared to the close game number 1.
Yeah, no, it really was a great turnaround from the Wraiths. We wanted to see some more offense from them getting shut out in that first game, and then they turn it all on in the second game here with 4 goals in the back of the net. And it really seemed like they not only did they put those goals in the back of the net, but they controlled the pressure for pretty much the entire game there, Coulson. And it was just an impressive showing. And again, that's what the Wraiths have done well all season long, is they've been really able to put that pressure on. And it's a very interesting showdown here, because both these teams are very similar in that way, that they love to control the ball, they love to control the pressure and really force the other team to make saves, to be stuck in their end. And we kind of see the seesaw starting off here.
And you could see the Gryphons compared to last game. Last game, they had 10 shots. This game, they had 4. And I want to give credit to the Wraiths for that. They had midfield control for what felt like the entirety of this game. And because of that, they were able to keep their shots consistent. They came out with 7 shots, able to capitalize on 4 of them. And the Gryphons walk away with a big goose egg in this game number 2. They were only able to score 1 in game number 1. So now I'm looking to them to disrupt. Fight for that mid boost. Go for the bumps. Even if your boost gets taken, stay midfield just a little bit longer. Look for the next player, that second man that's going to be pushing up the field, and try to bump them out of the way. And if it's the third man, you might have an open goal for your teammates if they boom it downfield. Zeek now misses on this one. Jrod trying to open up the scoring, but it goes off the post. Mealey with a shot, but saved away from Zair. This one missed by Milkert. Zeek looking for Zair over in the corner. He does get a 50, but it's not favoring the Wraiths. Now this one pops mid. This is awkward. A little bit too far for Mealey to capitalize on. He didn't have enough boost for that play, but he does get the steal on the boost. This boost control coming out from the Gryphons already is starting to look a lot better. Boost is a lot more evenly matched. Jrod full tank, Grambo full tank, trying to make something happen. Double whiff comes out yet again. These players on the Gryphons are antsy to get something else on the board, but because of it, they're putting themselves in terrible positions and allowing the Wraiths to break out of defense.
Yeah, they are, and this is a big shot attempt right here, but nobody can connect on it there. You thought that was a surefire goal, but the Gryphons counted their lucky stars that one didn't find in, but they're looking good right now. And it's Grambo who's going to send it in the back of the net and start the scoring out for the Gryphons.
Great beat here from Jrod. Jrod over to Grambo. Grambo with a great shot on target. Gets it by the diving last back Wraith defender. And the Gryphons open up the scoring in game number 3 after being held scoreless in game number 2. They've clearly adjusted something on the pitch, and it looks like they have a lot more boost to play with. So whether that is aggressiveness or fighting for the midfield or stealing boost, it's leading to goals, and Grambo doubles up on his. Gets a wide open net, a lapse in rotation coming out from the Wraiths.
Yeah, and I think Zeek just wasn't expecting that ball to be shot out so far and out in the midfield there, and just a little bit too far forward. And that's all it takes sometimes for these Gryphons to bring it back, is just a little bit of mispositioning. And now we're starting to see that communication, those rotations from the Gryphons turn back in their favor. And it's looking so back and forth between these two teams. One team has the pressure, then the other team has it. It looks like the Gryphons are poised to make this their game.
A little bit of awkwardness, as you say it, from the Gryphons. Triple commit on defense. It does work out for them. They still have their lead and have kept it at 2. Great demo from Grambo onto Zair. This one gets picked up by Jrod. It looks like Mealey's looking for a bump of his own, but this one goes right over the Wraiths net. Milkert trying to break out of his zone with the must. He does get a little bit of a scoop over to Zeek, but Jrod will have that follow-up touch read. Grambo looking for a teammate, but Zair will pop this one over back into the corner. Jrod putting this one in front. 50-50 comes out in front of the net, and we remain 2-0. Grambo now following, looking for a teammate, but he's low boost. Jrod's low boost. The only one with boost is Mealey, and he needs to get a touch here, and does. That should buy his teammates a little bit more time to grab some boost. Fortunately for them, Grambo does have some in the tank. He pops this one over, but Milkert elects to leave it, actually, and this could be dangerous. Zeek over to Mealey, back and forth. We're just ping-ponging in front of this Wraiths net, Rockerman. I cannot believe how well the Gryphons have adjusted in this game number 3.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just like a whole different team from what we saw in the last game. It seems like these teams are just switching spots. It was the Gryphons with all the pressure in game 1. It was the Wraiths with all the pressure in game 2. And now in game 3, it's the Gryphons that have been holding all this pressure. Oh my goodness, what is Milkert doing? He's trying to go absolutely insane there off the backboard. But Yeah, it's just a crazy turnaround, and I think these teams are really just playing tug of war here, Colson, in this game here. It's just back and forth, the push and the pull here of that rope, of that pressure. And right now, the Gryphons have a couple more big bodies on their end, as this one is shot towards the net and saved away.
I love seeing Mealey going for that bump on the back line. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to connect, but if he did, that surely would have been the third goal for the Gryphons. Great clear from Zair, but Grambo is waiting low boost, gets dunked out by Zeek. Mealey last back low boost, has to dive early, gets it. Now he gets a great touch over the midfield defender of the Wraiths. Grambo harassing, looking for demos, but can't come away with the boost or the bump. Zeek now takes a little bit of control, trying to pop it back for a teammate. Great bump comes out, but he does get beat. The touch comes out for the 50, and Jrod is the first one to get to it. Zeek electing to take a little bit of time, gets it past one, gets a 50 on another. This could be dangerous. Oh wow, great rotation coming out from Jrod. I didn't think he was going to get back that fast, given the history of him being on low boost, but it looks like the Gryphons are finally getting over that. They're finding boost. That looks like they're pathing a lot better, and because of that, going in the last 45, the Gryphons are the only team with sustained offense in this game number 3.
Yeah, they really are. They're just putting the pedal to the metal, controlling that mid boost, and not really letting these Wraiths break out. It's just attack after attack, and it's done them well so far to give them a 2-goal lead here. But Milkert is trying to get one there, and Mealey with a great save. And it's not only that, but they're making these great saves on the defensive end too, Colson, and really locking things down here as the final seconds coming through, and the Wraiths gonna need a little bit of a miracle if they're gonna want to send it to OT.
Yeah, and I don't think a miracle is enough at this point. 5 seconds left. Mealey does get dunked out, but there's no time on the clock. Jrod will knock it down, and the Gryphons will scratch off the second tally on their sheet. They only have 2 more games to go to take the series. They've taken games 1 and 3, and if this pace keeps up, Wraiths should be able to take game number 4, but they didn't have a lot of offense in this game. The Gryphons shut them out and shut their offense down.
Yeah, they really did here, and it's back to back. It's back to back shutouts here, Colson, in this series. And I mean, these two teams, again, like I said, they're just trading blows, really, trading opportunities in the lead here, and just the pressure keeps swinging one way versus the other. And right now, the Wraiths got to try to find a way to take it back into their grasp. It seems like whoever kind of comes out first, Colson, and really puts that pressure on early, it seems like they just take control of the entire game here. So if I'm the Wraiths heading into this game number 4, I'm talking, we got to come back here. We got to get our pressure out early, assert our dominance. Like we said, it's the battle of the offenses here in the series, and the Wraiths got to take control of their offense and put one in the back of the net early.
Same criticism I gave to the Gryphons after game 2, I'm going to give to the Wraiths now. Their midfield presence was a lot weaker in this game. They were the team on low boost. Zeek trying to get something early off the kickoff, but sends it high. He takes the shot away from Zair, but Zair's still able to get by one. Great touch coming out from Zeek. Grambo now with full boost, trying to get something to happen, but has to use all of it to just get a 50. Wraiths are swarming early. It seems like whichever team has this midfield control, it just keeps the other stuck on defense. No team is willing to risk it on 0 boost, and because of that, whoever fights for mid control first early on in the game is often the team that comes out on top.
Yeah, no, the midfield control is so huge between these two teams, as see a shot attempt almost coming through there. But yeah, when you have 2 high-paced offenses, Colson, that midfield is so crucial. You grab the boost, steal a corner boost from the other team as well when you're rotating through, and that's how you keep that sustained pressure. A lot of people don't think too much about those mid boosts, but it's those big 100 pads in that midfield. If you can really control those, you can control the game, as this one might be a long shot in the net. Jrod catches the Wraiths offense out a little too far, trying to make something happen.
Milkert was being aggressive in the corner, and I don't think his teammate was ready for it, but Jrod saw the opportunity and blasts one downfield to get the scoring opened for the Gryphons. In every game we've seen so far, the team to score first is the team to walk away with the win, so the Wraiths need to break that streak if they want to tie this series up at 2-2, because if you're down 3-1, that is devastating. That is a lot of wins in a row that you need to break through and take take this series. So the Wraiths really need to get something going in order to get back in this series. Mealey with a quick shot gets dunked out by Zair. That's a great save. Grambo's going to have to take a lot of time, but pops this one over into space. Jrod able to follow up on this touch. Mealey low boost gets dust out by Zeek. Looks like boost is a little bit more even in this game. I'm going to keep harping on that because that has been the difference maker in a couple of these games. But so far, each team able to come away with about the same amount of boost. They've done well avoiding the bumps from each other, and because of that, they've been able to stay in the game respectively.
Yeah, no, again, controlling that boost is huge. And Colson, I'm more curious if we'll see a game where both teams score. You know, in this one we've seen 3 back-to-back shutouts in a row there, with Gryphons 1-0 in game 1. The Wraiths came back with a 4-0, and then the Gryphons with a 2-0, and now they're in the lead. So, you know, I just want to see the Wraiths put one on the board. Let's give us some, you know, let's not play first goal wins. I want to see a little more back and forth in the middle of this one. But you know, I agree with you. Finding that boost control could be huge. This is a shot attempt going to be saved away.
Mealey does get a great follow-up touch. Milkert will have to go early, but gets dusted by Grambo. Now Mealey trying to get something to happen. Flick over one, looking for Jrod on the follow, and Jrod hits the double. The streak of keeping the other team scoreless is still up here, Rockerman.
Yeah, and that's a great passing play there. Mealey, he just flicks it over the top, and Jrod is just waiting for whatever Mealey does, however high he flicks it. Jrod is ready and waiting, and that is a great shot attempt right there. And the Gryphons, again, looking poised here to take this 3-1 lead, put themselves 1 win away from the grand finals.
This one could be dangerous though, but Mealey does get the touch there, not in the correct position to follow up on his initial touch. Zair now trying to get something going, but Jrod does get a great clear. Zeek pops this one mid, looking for a teammate. Both of them go. Low boost though. Gryphons are starting to get a little bit more boost control, and that has stifled this Wraiths offense yet again. Grambo chasing this one down, gets it by 1, but Zeek elects to take his time, let his teammates recover, and get back. Gets it by 1, diving Gryphon player, trying to put this one on, but puts it off the backboard instead. Zair trying to follow up on it, but it's not threatening enough to register as a shot. Grambo now trying to pop this one, looking for a teammate, but Zeek will be the one to receive it. So far, I've seen a lot of solo plays come out, and with opportunities like that missed from the Wraiths, you gotta think they will start relying on their teammates because their solo play efforts just haven't worked out.
Oh man, and those were a couple of really close opportunities, Colson, on both sides. And you know, they did try to get a passing play out there. It looks like Milkert had that shot attempt, just got it a little bit too hard off the post there, and then another follow-up attempt was saved away. But with 50 seconds here, if you're the Wraiths, you just got to go full send here. It doesn't matter if the Gryphons score 4 more goals in this game. You need to find 2 right here.
Milkert trying to find one and finds it. Milkert with the slow roller. This one pops off the top, and he is able to find the follow-up. Low boost sends it anyway, gets it by Jrod, and just like that, we have broken the scoreless streak, and we are within 1.
Yeah, finally breaking it there, and that's a good setup. And like I said, the Race, it doesn't matter if the Gryphons score 2 or 3 more goals. You got to find one here in the final 36 seconds and put one in the back of the net and see if you can force OT.
Zeek trying to press the issue, gets it around 1. Jrod low boost looking for Milkert. Zair was running interference, but look at the boost total coming out. No one has boost. They're giving it everything they've got, and because of that, here comes the counterattack. Mealey looking for a teammate, but Zair clears this one strong downfield. Zeek looking for a bump, gets it, but Grambo still able to get the touch. Milkert with a shot, but it's right down to Mealey. Milkert looking for a teammate now, but Zeek was on the opposite side of the pitch. It looks like the Gryphons are just desperately trying to hold on because this Wraith squad is starting to pressure a lot, trying to get something going, but they cannot. And the Gryphons take a 3-1 lead in the series.
Yeah, the Gryphons, they're going to hold on there at the end. A couple of close opportunities, and we started to see the Race offense that we're used to there coming out at the very end, but it was just a little bit too late there in that one. And now they find themselves down in a 3-1 hole here, Colson, and you got to pull back something here. And I would expect them to use their tactical timeout here, but we'll see if they're going to opt to use it.
I don't know if they will, because the Wraiths were able to break that scoreless streak, and they felt like they were out pressuring the Gryphons, and they were. They had 8 shots compared to the Gryphons' 3, But the Gryphons kind of sandbagged it a little bit. They got their opening 2 goals and they just kept them. They didn't have to do too much. They were just forcing the Wraiths to get around them, waste more time off the clock, and at the end, it worked out for them. So the Wraiths, I imagine, feel confident because of how much pressure they were able to get, but the Gryphons were still able to hold them out. So it's just figuring out how to get by. And I think you got to look to demos and bumps. That pressure started to work at the end. It forced the Gryphons to scramble, but we will see how they decide to play it going into game number 5.
Yeah, again, game number 5 here. It's a must win, and again, I'm surprised they didn't opt to use the tactical timeout. I almost most certainly would have here. You did have a lot of good pressure at the end, but it's not necessarily just about for yourself here, Colson. That tactical timeout can be used to stop the other team's pressure, but I guess maybe they can prove me wrong here as Zair strikes first.
Look at the pressure coming out off kickoff early. Great follow from the third man of Zeek. We have, I think, a player calling for a pause here. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we will see what's going on. It looks like a couple of the players are stopped on the pitch. We'll head to the casters just to entertain you for a little bit while we get this one sorted out. This one in favor of the Wraiths. They did get their first goal, but it appears that the Gryphons aren't happy with it. So I don't know what's going to happen here. I'm going to try to let Rockerman decide as he talks with the players. But I think the Wraiths were going to score that regardless. They came out with a lot more pressure. They were able to get to the ball first. And because of that, they scored early. And I think they deserve that goal. But we don't really know what's going to go on yet. Rockerman, what do you think is going to happen?
We'll have to see how things are looking here. But yeah, Colson, either way, it's an awkward situation off the start there, and the race, they got a quick goal from it. So we'll have to see what the official ruling is going to be.
Yeah, and we're gonna wait for, I think it was Mealey that ended up dropping out of the game. He disconnected. Maybe he's having a little bit of internet issues, but that tends to happen. You got to power through. Unfortunate time, especially in the semifinals, but it is what it is. You guys, you've had a great season so far, and it's a tough spot to be in, but you got to try to power through it, even if you're on a player, or if you have a player on your team with bad internet. It is tough. You are 3-1, so you can just get one more win. Just hold on just a little bit longer. But it looks like Mealey's back. I think he was able to fix whatever issue he was having with his game. But I don't know what the Wraiths are going to be thinking about this one, because I think they feel like they deserved that goal because they started out with all the pressure. It looked like all 3 players were moving on the pitch. So we have some early game 5 drama for everyone.
You gotta love some game 5 drama. But Colson, it does look like the goal will stand here. Looks like Mealey disconnected after the goal was scored, or was not in a position to make a save for that one, or to be effective in denying that goal there. So goal will stand. We're gonna reset to kickoff there at 4:42 here. So we will continue on from there.
A little bit of protest coming out from a couple of these players, but it is what it is. You guys were able to keep this close so far in the series. You're up 3-1. You just need to get a goal, and I think this series could be yours. If you chalk this one up to a fluke, like you're saying, if a player got disconnected, then it is a fluke in your mind. So they should be able to come out strong. We'll see what happens as we dive into the second kickoff. Goal stands, Wraith up 1-0. Great kickoff, though. Mealey following up on this one. Zeek with a great touch, able to beat this one out. Great touch from Grambo, clearing this out, just alleviating a little bit of the pressure that the Wraiths are starting to pile on early yet again. Zeek with a crazy touchdown. This could be dangerous, but Grambo with a great clear over to the corner, but it's not over yet. This one gets popped out and away. Whiff coming out from Zair, and Grambo is going to try to start this attack for the Wraiths, or excuse me, for the Gryphons.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if the Gryphons can recover from that one. Mealey, he did end up disconnecting there, but the Gryphons might find something there. They can't quite get it down, but it is a little bit of an awkward situation for both teams involved here. But it seems like the Rays are still trying to put on the pressure. And it's, again, Colson, it's not a normal thing when you see the pause, but you got to try to find a way to capitalize and come back stronger. And Grambo right there off the great pass is going to tie things up.
Yeah, and that oftentimes is what it takes. You feel like you deserved a goal, so you get angry, you get aggressive, and you go get one for yourself. Grambo slotting that one into the top left. It reads 1-1 on the scoreboard, but it's basically 0-0. Mental reset coming out from the Gryphons, and Mealey's trying to capitalize on it. But Zair does have a great touch on his solo play. Zeek with a strong clear over. Jrod pre-jumped a little bit too early and gets beat. This one does get 50'd out by Jrod, though. Zair up into the air. Not a lot of boost to make a play happen, though. This one, Jrod taking his time, trying to pop it to himself, but Milkert with the read. Looking for a teammate mid, but no one was there. Now Mealey has boost and ball. He has a lot of time, a lot of space to make something happen, but no one was ready for the follow-up mid. Both of his teammates decided to play third man on that play, and because of that, the Wraiths are starting to get involved. Mealey looking for a bump, but Zair able to get the save, but Jrod with a quick shot into the bottom right gets the lead for the Gryphons.
Yeah, the Gryphons gonna get the lead here, and Zair, he's just bumped off with this one and can't quite find the follow. Zeek is just, you know, in good luck territory right there. Just jump up and pray that you get in the way, and unfortunately that was not enough there, and the Gryphons come roaring back. They've had some great pressure, and they've looked a lot better as this series has gone on, as another one has got to be blocked away there. And now the net is open there, but can they turn it on? No, it's going to fly up too high. Milkert, he's trying to find a double tap. Can he get it? No, he can't. But again, another one where the race, Colson, they've had their chances here. They just haven't capitalized.
And that's tilting. You feel like you got a lucky goal, especially from the beginning, and now you're whiffing on the easy one. Zair down to Zeek. Almost a crazy play, but this one does end up going wide. Jrod flicks it back to himself, looking for a teammate upfield, but no one's there. Zair now pops this one up to the corner, looking for a teammate mid. Milkert is up. It gets dusted by Mealey. Zeek now a little bit awkward, able to get this touch over to the corner where Zair is waiting. Strong clear from him, but Grambo does have the read. Grambo now taking his time, trying to get something to happen. Can't fake out Milkert, and Milkert takes control. Jrod pops this down mid. Mealey trying to get there, but gets dusted by Zeek. I'm looking for Milkert to try to make a bump, but no one decides to be selfless and open up that net for their teammates. Wraiths are down by 1 with 2 minutes remaining, and they got to get aggressive if they want to beat this Gryphons team.
Yeah, they got to get aggressive here. You got to find these bumps. You got to find an insane pitch. It's off the post. No, it's not going to go in. That one was almost an insane one there, but yeah, this is starting to get scary time here, Colson, for the race here, because this is their season on the line. They cannot afford to lose this game. This is the series right here if the Gryphons can hold on. So really just got to sell out, and I agree with you there. You got to find a way to find some bumps and make this Gryphons rotation a little bit awkward. We saw that's how they were able to win the game earlier in the series, but you got to find a way to disrupt.
Zeek now taking control in front of his own net. Awkward touch, elects to leave it for a teammate, but Mealey is going to be the first one to it. Zair does get the beat onto, but Grambo gets a touch. Looking for Jrod. Jrod trying to get a quick shot, but gets dunked out by Milkert. Mealey keeping the pressure on, dusts the last back, and the Gryphons double up on their lead.
Yeah, the Gryphons gonna find another one right here, as it's just a nice pass out there, and Mealey, he's just got the speed. The Wraiths are just a little bit slower on these balls here, and they have been for the last couple of games here in this one. And now a minute 11 here. You really got to go full send and try to disrupt this Gryphons team, because this is do or die time.
He comes out, but it goes right to the favor of Mealey. Mealey gets dunked by Zeek. This could be the opportunity, but Zair can't capitalize on it. He was pushed up a little bit too far. Now he's looking for Zeek. Zeek pops it back up to himself, trying to make a statement play, getting the Wraiths back in. He pops it down to Milkert, and Milkert able to bring this one back within 1.
And this is a great play by Zeek. Uses all his boost to get this one, and Mealey, he is just starved there. He's got to wait for it to come down. And Milkert with a great play, and 50 seconds remaining. The Wraiths are not out of this one yet.
Diving into the kickoff, Grambo gets a favorable 50. The Gryphons need to hold on for 45 more seconds. The Wraiths need to pressure and get another goal to keep their playoff hopes alive. Zeek does get a strong beat. This one could be dangerous, but there is a great 50 in the corner from Mealey. Mealey with another great 50, allowing Grambo to get to that ball and get a strong clear. Now, Zair pops this one down. This could be dangerous. 2 players went from the Gryphons. That could end up biting them, but Jrod able to get back and get a strong 50. Taking his time on the ball, wasting precious seconds off the clock. Zair with a strong pinch down, looking for Zeek. Zeek needs to make a play happen. Grambo doesn't go. What a fake comes out, but Jrod able to get the touch. That was the opportunity the Wraiths needed. And if they don't get one here, they will go home. Their season will be over. Zeek pops it up, looking for Milkert, the guy who's been in charge, the guy who's been the statement piece.
Oh,
But a team bump comes out from the Wraiths. And just like that, their season ends. The goal at the beginning of the game doesn't have an effect. The Gryphons take the series 4-1.
oh man, and that's such a tough one there. They had an opportunity at the end to tie it up there. Milker just didn't have the boost to really follow it. It just needed a teammate to go up, but unfortunately, it was not meant to be, and they end up falling here. And the Gryphons finally break their semifinal curse of the past 2 seasons. They lost both times in the semifinals, Colson, but third time's the charm here, and they are going to end up making their third grand finals with this victory here. And I mean, they looked pretty solid doing it here.
They absolutely did, and the Gryphons did it in dominant fashion. They shut them out in multiple games. They took the series 4-1. It was back and forth for a little bit, but the Wraiths never really woke back up after their game-winning game number 2. They were able to score in games 4 and 5, but it felt like they did too little too late. But I don't want to be too harsh on them. They had a phenomenal season. Congratulations to the Wraiths for making it to the semifinals. But congratulations goes to the Gryphons as well, making their grand finals appearance. They played phenomenally, and I think they deserve to be there.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, everything seemed to be clicking besides that one game. I mean, there was obviously some cracks in the armor there of the Gryphons, but they really just locked it down, found that rotation, found that speed, and it was enough. And we see why they've had such a great regular season there. In the Challenger League this season with 14 wins to their name. I mean, it was a great series, and they pretty handily, Colson, kind of took care of the race there. A couple hiccups here and there, but for the most part, it was all their pressure just dominating the pace of play.
Absolutely. A lot of boost grabs, a lot of pressure coming out from the Gryphons, and they take this one again. 4-1. They move on to the grand finals. We have some more Rocket League action in the Prospect League coming up for you next. But we're going to head to a quick break before we come back for our 8 o'clock match. We'll see you all soon.